Uno, 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 dos, tres, cuatro.
Okay, welcome everybody to Silverstone, and I hope you enjoyed that little bit of an intro there. That's something new. I thought I'd just plonk a bit of footage with some banging house music behind it to sort of jazz it all up and let you get a feel for the weekend of fun and racing that we've just enjoyed at the weekend. So it is now Monday and I've got the footage back. So I'm going to have a look and do some commentary. Try and improve my commentary from, say, some of the previous ones, because that's the whole point. You've got to get better at this. And the driving. Well, I hope the driving's getting better and faster and more exciting. I think it has. I'm getting more confident. So things are good. And I'm looking forward to reviewing the footage coming up right now. So we are race 1, which is round 6, is it? Or 7? Round 7. So it's the 7th race of the series, but it's the first race at Silverstone, and we're racing two races we've got this weekend. One just after lunch, about 2:30, and then one early evening, about 4:30, 5 o'clock, that sort of time. So we're just on the start-finish. We're going to do a parade lap, but I'm not going to talk through that. I'm just going to edit that out. And in a second, we're going to start the race proper. So just to give you an overview, a qualified P7. We had an issue with the engine, so we were unable to set any sort of blistering times. And I'll be honest with you, I thought I'd be plumb last. So P7 is great. I'll take that. And this is what it looks like. P7 behind Kevin in the white number 8. And I can just see Andy Montgomery there. So if I'm in 7th, that's 5th. So Andy's in 4th. And is that Rob in 2nd? And Jono got pole with a fantastic lap. I think he got into the 1 minute 6s. No one else did for the whole weekend. So fantastic. Jono was on form this weekend, so I've got to hand it to him. So yeah, let's get cracking. And let me just pause this, edit this, and we'll get cracking. Okay, so we're going to try the handbrake start. And the lights go out now and we're off. Get some wheel spins but some good traction at the same time into 3rd and a good drive. Thinking about the inside, but everybody goes tight round cops. Kevin must have got his gears wrong there, go past him quite easily, and we're going down into Maggot's corner, which is fairly straight, hard on the brakes. Hug the corner at this stage of the race through Beckett's and onto the Wellington straight. That corner's pretty crucial to get some good drive down here. It's where all the time is made on this lap. And as you can see, I get good drive. Oh, there's Alan. By the way, I should say Alan P3, fantastic qualifying mate. But I managed to sneak up past you there. nestle in behind Andy Montgomery into P4. Andy goes wide, I take advantage, I sneak through on the inside, I get a good drive out, and P3. So I'm very pleased with that. P7 to P3 on the first lap, and straight away I'm settling in, feeling comfortable, and these boys ahead are giving each other a bit of a tussle. I just need to keep on the back of them, pick my moment. It's probably going to be down at the end of the Wellington straight into Brooklands corner. Brooklands, I should say. Just keep it easy, keep my distance, get a good exit here, and I know I can slingshot past them if I do get that good exit, because they're going to be pushing each other back. So I'm nestling in behind Rob to get a bit of a slipstream here. Rob goes down the inside. Jono defends. Is that 2 moves, Jono? I managed to go around the outside of Rob and nestle in P2. Oh, bit of a break there, which pushes me back into Rob, but I make it stick. P2. And although I've got good drive coming out of Woodcote, I should say, it's not a good idea to try and go 2 abreast into Copse, so I let Jono go because he was ahead. And again, just got to sit behind Jono, get a good exit here onto Wellington, and pick my moment back down at Brooklands. Got to get a good drive out in any case, and I managed to get past. And Rob's coming up quick as well, as you can see in the rear view. Nice and tight into Luffield. Check my brake, check my gears, go a little bit wide, create the angle so I can get a good exit down and through Woodcote onto the pit straight. And that's it, P1, lap 3. And I got a bit of a race on my hands. Got to keep the cars behind me of Jono and Rob. So the trick here is not to look in my rearview mirrors too much, and just focus on what I'm picking my lines and not overcooking the corners and getting good exit. Because if you don't take the corners, on this national circuit you've got 2 long straights, well 3 long straights, it's pretty much a triangle, and if you don't get good exits onto those straights, then you're toast basically. There are a couple of corners where they're probably not as important as the others, but Brooklands is a great place to overtake. It's a very wide track. If you're late on the brakes and you can control your speed round the corner, round the bend into Luffield, then you can do all your overtaking there. The rest of the track, really, you just need to keep up. Copse, wasn't too sure whether that should be a 4th or a 5th gear. I've had time to think. It's now Monday, and I've had time to sort of relive the race, going over the footage as well, putting together this commentary, and I think that on reflection I should have taken Copse differently throughout the race weekend. Hindsight's a wonderful thing. I didn't have the experience at the time to know what to do and how I should be taking it, but obviously now I do, and on reflection I should have taken it a lot differently. How much time it would have gained me, I don't know, half a second. Combine that with my entry into Maggots and a better, smoother cornering around Beckett's onto the Wellington straight, then yeah, I could have got my times quite a bit. But I still, managed low 1.7s, which is not too bad. And the fastest lap I've just done, 1:07.389. That was the fastest lap for this race. So I've still got Jono tight behind me. This is my weakest corner here, going around Beckett's, and probably Jono's strongest corner. Well, actually, I don't know about this race, but in the next race, certainly. But in any case, Jono's still on my tail, not letting me get away. And he's going to try and keep on me and force any mistakes and jump on them. Fortunately, I don't make any at this stage. However, I look in my rear view and Jono suddenly falls away. Later transpires he had a rear puncture, and so he manages to limp round, go in the pits and then come out and finish the race. But unfortunately, being at the front of the race is that's all over for Jono now. So there's Rob behind me, a few seconds behind, and I'm setting some quite fast laps, consistently 1:07s. I pull out decent enough. I mean, I think I'm 2.5 seconds ahead now. I think at one point I was about 4, but as soon as I realised I could keep the distance and I didn't really need to push, I eased off a little bit with a view to protecting my tyres and my brakes for race 2. But in the back of my mind also I wanted to get fastest lap as well, so I'm pretty sure I've got a lap timer on my dash. I'm pretty sure that with Jono out with a puncture, that I've pretty much got the fastest lap within the last couple of laps, so I can ease off a little bit, which is what I do. We go all the way to lap 14, so I'm probably going to run out of words to say because there's not much going on, no cars about, so I'll just talk you through the track. So we're on the Wellington Straight. Come down here, you approach Brooklands Corner on the right hand side. I brake late, very late. I trail the brakes in, so my braking distance is at the apex of the corner, in which I then apply the accelerator straight into tight into Luffield, hug the corner a little bit, come out to create an angle to get the maximum drive into Woodcote, which is this fast corner here. It's only a slight corner, and then down the pit straight. So again, I was saying this is Copse into 4th, dab on the brakes and power it round. I still don't know if that's the fastest way, going down into 4th, and whether or not I should have been a little bit more aggressive with my turn-in and earlier on the power. This is Beckett's right-hander onto the Wellington Straight. You can't really see it, but I just kept overshooting that, braking too late. My entry through Maggott's corner wasn't brilliant. But now I'm starting to ease off, so I'm changing gear quite slowly. Well, I don't know if it's slowly, but leisurely, shall we say, and just nursing the car, just bringing the car home, really, just protecting my lead. I can see reference points as to how far Rob is behind me, and obviously I've got the pit wall as we go past now, with my guys telling me how far ahead I am. So if I can maintain that, I know Rob was lapping in the 108s, so anything around the 108, I'm going to maintain that gap. So yeah, here's the entry through Maggott's. That should be straight. Go wide here and cut in early, not too narrow on the angle. Open it up wide and get as good an exit as you can, because that's really important to get the speed down the Wellington Straight. Over to the right, I had a lot of support in the Brooklyn stand here on the right, as you can see. So they had a really good view of the overtakes earlier on in the race that got me to P1. They really enjoyed that. They had a great day out. And race 2 was pretty special as well, which will be coming up soon. But where I finished P2, having had the lead for about 8 laps. But I'll talk you through all that on the race footage. So again, lap 11. My times are slowly coming down now. 1:08.896. Not really pushing at all. Well, not pushing at all. Just almost having a few practice laps now. I haven't had any practice sessions apart from Friday practice. I hadn't had any test days here, and I'll be honest with you, it didn't really affect me in this race because Jono had his puncture. But had Jono not had his puncture, he would be in my mirrors as we speak and pushing me, which is what he did in race 2. And on reflection, there's certain things that I did in this race and certain ways that I drove corners which weren't optimum. And I think that having had the opportunity to drive around the circuit and then time afterwards to reflect in your mind whether or not you feel that you are going around the corners in the right way and at the right speed, you kind of have a feeling for that. And that's something I wasn't able to get from Friday's practice, because usually you have a couple of days after the test sessions where you can reflect. But Friday practice into Saturday, that's not what you're thinking. You're thinking more about the race, you're thinking about the car. We had an issue with the car. You're thinking about all sorts of things. You're not really thinking too much about the Friday practice, which actually wasn't too great either, because we practiced session 1, we had to ease the car in with some changes that we had to make to the car and replace some parts. Session 2 was red flagged and interrupted. That was probably the best session, I think, but nevertheless it was interrupted. Session 3 was cancelled after 10 minutes, red flagged. Unfortunately, there was an accident on track, and obviously, needs to be the session needed to be stopped. And then we had the problem with the turbo in session 4, which was cut short. So it was a little bit of a stop-starty kind of day. I didn't get what I needed to get out of it, really, on reflection. But that's racing, The opportunity to have a test day around the National wasn't there. But we did take the car to Snetterton to make sure that it was performing well and was doing what it needed to do, and that was really important that we did that. We ironed out some issues, and I'm very grateful that we had that opportunity to do that. So lap 13, closing it down now. The back tyres were starting to go actually. Into Brooklands, very easily actually. I thought I was going to do a classic not really focusing spin type thing. I was focusing, but those tyres they just caught me off guard. I don't know if you actually saw it, but in any case, I didn't spin, and here I am still going. And again, this is fantasy really. My second win of the season, extending my lead in the championship over Rob, who's second. Fastest lap. I didn't know I got the fastest lap, but I kind of was fairly confident that it would be the fastest lap. This is. I just want. Ironically, I just want it to be over now, because was the back end? Did the back end go there? No, it was the lap before. But you almost just want it to be over because you want to take home the win. You don't want to mess up, do something silly, and there's no one around. So I think this is the last lap. There's the checkered flag, and I'm winning, and the emotion is just overwhelming. I can't tell you how emotional it is. It's just one of those things. It's brilliant to win a race and to win 2 and to be leading the championship in my first season. It's just crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But testament to all the work that I'm putting into it. Reading up and watching footage on YouTube and doing lots of things like that, and going to as many practice sessions as I can when they become available. So yeah, and it goes without saying, thank you so much to my team, to Aaron at A-Reef Motorsport, to John, my mechanic, and everyone involved. It goes without saying, really, what a fantastic job these guys are doing. Every race weekend they work so hard, and they come together and they produce this fantastic car for me to drive. So the least I can do is prepare myself in the best possible way to get the best results, and that's what I'm going to continue to do. So next up, round 8.